and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, everybody, thanks so much for joining us right here on The Right View. Tonight, we are so excited because we're joined by UFC Hall of Famer and one of the most influential figures in the history of mixed martial arts, Royce Gracie. Royce, I'm so stoked to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for taking a little bit of time. I know you're all over the place. You're very busy. You still have a lot of stuff going on in this field. But you competed in the first ever UFC tournament all the way back in 1993. You were the smallest competitor in the competition, and yet you won the whole thing. Give me that moment. Take me back there. And how is it that as the smallest competitor, you were able to dominate?
Sometimes I keep thinking, what was my family thinking about it when they put me in? I never had a fight in my life. Um, my father didn't teach us how to fight. He taught us how to teach martial art, how to teach
Oh,
the art of jiu-jitsu. And jiu-jitsu is an art of self-defense. So he told me, do not hit your opponents, do not hurt your opponents, um, but do not lose. If you don't lose, the question is how you're going to win. So
mm-hmm.
I rely totally on his words on self-defense. So if I don't lose, the question is how I'm going to win. And that's what I did. End up beating three opponents in one night. And it was like first one was like less than a minute. Second one, same thing. So it was like total fights, like 5 minutes, three fights in one night.
Wow.
But I
That's
was defending myself not to lose.
mm-hmm. Okay, so this is so interesting, and this is what I think is so special about jiu-jitsu. And I mean, who better than a member of the Gracie family to, talk about jiu-jitsu? I think, you go all over this country, Royce, and there are the jiu-jitsu gyms all over the place. I mean, I live in South Florida. There are a ton around me. Both of my kids train jiu-jitsu, and this is something that my husband Eric and I made a decision about really right around the time our son, who's now 7, was born, because so many people had told me that the best thing they ever did for their child was to put their child in jiu-jitsu. The fact that you were the smallest competitor and you're saying you weren't fighting to dominate and win, you were fighting not to lose. It is the art of self-defense. And I think the most interesting part of jiu-jitsu for me as a parent watching is that it really doesn't matter the size of the individual. If you train in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you really can handle yourself just about, and correct me if I'm wrong, against any opponent. But tell me what you would tell parents out there, because this is something that I took to heart, and my kids now are in like their 4th year of jiu-jitsu.
My father always says, jiu-jitsu will teach you, will give you confidence.
Yeah.
And then, but teaching some of the law enforcement, some of the special units in our army, they say, Royce, we have plenty of confidence, but jiu-jitsu help us with decision making.
Mm.
So, for instance, you get caught in an armbar or in a choke or a submission, you have seconds, fraction of a second to figure out how to escape. They apply that into their profession as a police officer, as a special units in the army. So they have fraction of a second to make a decision. But it gives kids discipline. It gives
Yes.
kids the confidence to deal with any kind of situation.
I think
So
so. And
it's not about fighting. It's about learning how to defend yourself.
yep. And I think that that's been one of the things that I've noticed too, is it's the discipline aspect of it. I think can't be overstated. Kids these days, I feel like, Royce, get off very easily. They lack a lot of discipline, in my humble opinion. I see the way kids react to their parents if I'm, out somewhere, and it wouldn't have flown in my house. I can tell you that. My dad would have never allowed me to behave this way. And I'm also not going to allow my children to behave that way. But I find with jiu-jitsu, when the kids go in there, look, if you want to learn and you want to win, you're going to have to pay attention, and you're going to have to be respectful to the instructor. You're going to have to be respectful to your opponent as well. And you're going to have to respect the entire art of jiu-jitsu. And I think it's been absolutely incredible to watch. Let me ask you, though, about you and growing up. Look, you're one of 9 sons, which is incredible. And you all trained in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And I would say, like I mentioned a minute ago, that you and your family are really responsible for introducing it to the rest of the world. I can't go, a couple miles without seeing some sort of a Gracie gym, down in my area. But was it obvious when you started in MMA that you had an advantage entering these fights? I go watch a UFC fight, and now that I've been watching all of my kids are doing in jiu-jitsu, I know all the moves, and I'm ready. By the way, I'm ready. I've never trained in it, but Royce, let me tell you something. You get me on a mat, I feel like I'm ready to go. Did you feel like you had the advantage, though, knowing how powerful jiu-jitsu really is?
Okay, I am not punch proof. So if I get hit, yes, I'm going down. I'm human. But the advantage that we had is the art of jiu-jitsu is a more complete art than the others. For instance, boxing. If they just punch, 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 but if they get in a clinch, they stop. They don't know what to do. The referee have to separate them. Karate, taekwondo, they all wrestling is great for takedowns, but they pin the opponent to the ground and then that's it. It stops. In jiu-jitsu, we continue until somebody give up. So yes, it's a more complete art. It's not just a one part, a takedown or a punch or a kick. So it goes until somebody give up. And yes, I had the advantage because I was more ready for that kind of fighting than others. But again, I'm not punch proof. They were bigger, they were stronger. There was no gloves, there was no time limit, there was no weight division. It was a fight.
Wow. The no time limit would really do it for me because, I do things all the time. Memorial Day is a day. Obviously, we're sending all of our thoughts and prayers to the families of those who have lost loved ones, defending our country. We're honoring those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. And one of the ways you do that is doing something. I do CrossFit called a Murph, and this is a workout. It's pretty tough, Royce. It's a mile run followed by 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and then another mile run. And obviously, you want to get a good time in it. At least I do. I'm one of these crazy people. But because I know where the end is, I did it, and I'll tell you that last mile, it was hot down in Florida. I was dying the whole time, but I said, I know where the end is. The fact that there wasn't an end to any of that, I give you a lot of credit for because that would actually absolutely terrify me. I'm talking about this with my kids. I do think it's powerful, but I wonder for you how much you credit martial arts and all the training you've done in terms of making you the person you are today.
I'm going to say that's the words of my father.
Oh.
Everything what I am is jiu-jitsu. I made from the technique and dignity of the sport a flag. And I take care of my family's name with sweat, affection, and blood. So,
Well,
yes, everything what I am is jiu-jitsu.
it's made you who you are today. I love it. Well, I'm curious about your proudest moment ever. But one of these moments that I think shocked a lot of people, and I've learned a little bit about you preparing for this interview. I need to know how you prepared for the classic David versus Goliath fight that saw you face off with and ultimately defeat a 6'8", 490-pound professional sumo wrestler. Royce, what was going through your mind? How do you even get ready for something like that?
Before the fight, everybody was like, "Are you out of your mind?" He gets paid not to go to the ground. He gets paid not to put his knee on the ground. If he falls on top of you, you're done. And there's no way you can out-punch him, out-kick him. Everybody was against. It's too much weight advantage. Yeah, I was like, hey, let's see if jiu-jitsu works.
Wow.
So to train for that fight, we couldn't find somebody that big. So we got two person of 250 pounds.
Oh my
I'll
gosh.
put a belt around them, tie them up. They'll hold each other like this, one this way, one this way. So one used the right hand, one used the left hand, and they will hug each other and just try to fight me, put them on top of me so I can get used to a 500-pound weight. and my brother Hoyle who jump on top of their backs and to add more weight on top,
Oh my
just so I can get
gosh.
used to it. And yeah, technique overpower.
That's by the way, that's amazing. That's so smart to do it that way. The fact that you could train that way and then you got in there. I mean, once you got in the ring and you were actually there face to face with this guy, were you confident in your training and what was about to happen, or were you still kind of? I'm sure the adrenaline was pretty high. America's national debt has soared past $36 trillion, but smart investors are turning to gold. During President Trump's first presidency, gold surged over 52%. This year, gold has already broken records, soaring past $2,900 an ounce, and analysts predict it could even hit $3,300 soon. Now's the time to find out more about investing in gold. Call 855-704-GOLD or visit goldgatecapital.com. You can buy gold with cash or easily add gold and silver to your IRA or 401k. And for a limited time, you could get up to $15,000 in free silver with qualified purchases. Goldgate Capital has an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of five-star reviews. Don't wait. Claim your free gold information guide today. Call 855-704-GOLD or visit goldgatecapital.com now. As you know, our friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. He didn't just stop by simply creating the best pillow. Mike created the best bed sheets ever. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Mike is offering the best deal on his Giza Dream bed sheets. Any size, any color, just $49.98. That's right, you can even get queens, kings, split kings, and California kings, any size, any color, just $49.98. Order now because when they're gone, they're gone. Also, for a limited time, when your order is over $100, you will receive $100 in free digital gifts. Call 1-800-624-3945, use promo code LARA, or go to mypillow.com and make sure you use the promo code LARA for the amazing offer of $49.98 on the Giza Dream Sheets, any size and any color. Number again is 1-800-624-3945.
I mean, I had fights. Every opponent was heavier than me.
Yeah.
Everybody was 250, 300 pounds, all American wrestlers and karate and boxers. And so I'm used to fight somebody, defend myself against somebody bigger and stronger. So it wasn't something new. Um, the funny part is right before that fight, we did a press conference in Hawaii. So I just got back from a run and he was sitting on the lobby with two Hawaiian guys. So I passed by them, rules of engagement. I'm not supposed to talk to my opponent. So I walked to the elevator, but I was like, you know what? Rules are made to be broken. My brothers are not here. I'm going to go talk to the guy. So I walk up to him. I look at him. He's sitting down. I look at his friends sitting next to him. And I stare at them and I look at me. I look at them and I go, you know what? I think I'm too big for you for this fight. I'm going to go run some more and lose some more weight.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
walk out of the hotel to run another couple miles. And as I'm walking out, he's like, "What the F is that?" He's like, "You're too big for me." I got inside his head.
Yeah, but see, that's part of it too, right? Like this is all about getting whatever advantage you can and gaining it on your opponent. And I appreciate that. I think that's so good. Well, I mean, how epic. Was that one of your proudest moments, or what's been your proudest moment? I mean, you've had such a career,
The
that you can look
proudest
back and
moment
say,
of
wow.
my life is the birth of my kids.
Oh,
I love hanging out with them today.
that's amazing. How old are your kids?
28, 27, 23, and 19.
Wow. And did they all train jujitsu?
They all train. The oldest one is a black belt, teaches, travel all over the place teaching. We both are so busy. We're building a school right now in Sarasota. It should
Oh,
be ready
nice.
in about a year. But in the meantime, both of us are just like this. And then my youngest is actually Army Rangers.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yes, he's a third bat. And then my younger daughter, she's over at University of Tampa.
That's awesome. Well, it's so cool to be able to pass something on to the next generation, something that was important to you, something that was important to your father, and hopefully continue to pass it down. You talk about how busy you are. I know now you're traveling the world, as you say, you're training people all across the globe. You're building, new facilities. As a fitness fanatic myself, I just talked about doing the Murph for Memorial Day. I really have to know, what does your training regimen look like these days? You're 58 years old, but you're clearly still doing something right, Royce. So what's going on? What are you doing to train?
Okay, like we talked earlier, um, not just jiu-jitsu, but eating is part of
Oh,
training.
yeah.
So we follow the Gracie diet. It's not exactly a diet; it's more of a eating habits. We
Mm-hmm.
combine the food towards the easy digestion. So I consider sleeping, I consider eating part of my training. So people thinking that just training in the gym, yes, I train all day, but then go ahead and go drink alcohol, go party, never drink, never smoke.
Wow.
So it's a yes, I'm a full-time professional athlete. So I travel like my sons, and we travel all over the world and teaching. And yeah, my father
Yeah.
taught us how to teach. And just by the way, the eating is growing up thinking about it taught us how to make a decision. You can eat this or that, but not both together. Choose one from a young age. So we got used to choose, but I want to eat both. You can't. Don't combine. That's the one thing that Gracie family we hear all the time. Those two don't combine. Choose one. And we had to
Interesting.
choose.
So
So from a
what
young
things are
age,
you not supposed to combine? I got to write this down. Royce, go ahead.
if we eat a lot of fruits,
Okay.
breakfast and dinner at the house normally is fruits. So if we're eating a fruit meal, we will not eat what we consider a cooked meal or having a dessert after a cooked meal.
Uh-huh.
So you eat a cooked meal and then or mixing two starches, it becomes very heavy to digest.
Mm,
So
okay.
if you eat potatoes and bread, they're two different starches. They don't combine. So
So
it
you can have
becomes very
one,
heavy
but
to
not
digest.
both.
One month, but not both. To make it
Hmm.
simple, we would never eat like a watermelon after eating a cooked meal or strawberries. People serve strawberries for dessert after a cooked meal. No, we would not combine the sweet
Oh.
with cooked meal.
Oh, I'm doing that all wrong. See, in my mind, I'm like, I'm having some fruit afterward. I feel like I'm doing great, but this is no good, Royce. Okay. Well, I'm
So
learning something.
it's all towards a easy digestion
Okay.
for health for us as an adult. But for kids looking at it today, I thought they're teaching us how to make the decision, how to
Hmm.
decide what do you want. Choose one. You can have both. It's not like, oh my God, if you eat both, you're gonna get sick. No, you're not.
You're just not
But
going to be as good.
you're teaching them how to decide, how to make it, how to stand for some, how to decide what do you want.
Yeah.
So
Well, and you're teaching self-control as well, which I think a lot of people have a problem with, right? You have the ability to make the decision at any moment, whatever it is you want to do, Royce, to change your life, to change the way you eat, to change and maybe start working out for the first time, to change the way people treat you because you don't accept the way they act towards you. Whatever it is, you always have that decision. It's within you, but you have to have the self-control to back it up, to say, no, I'm not going to have that terrible strawberry after I have this cooked meal. How dare I ever do such a thing? But that's part of, I think, what it is too. And I also feel like that's something that's lacking in overall in our society today. And I would say with kids today, they're so obsessed with these things, with instant gratification from a phone, from a tablet, from some kind of screen, that you're telling them, look, you can do that now, but it's not going to pay off later, right? You've got to make some decisions and you got to be able to control yourself a little bit. I would say that's a huge lesson, and what a great thing to learn at a young age for you and hopefully your kids. And maybe I'll start telling my kids how they're going to have to choose to eat their food. I
And,
like
and,
this.
and, and when I teach the kids class, sometimes I stop on the end of the class and I have a conversation with them.
Mm.
And I ask questions with the parents watching. Who knows what junk food is? And they all raise their hands and they all tell me, give me example. And they all give me example as a junk food and then what's a healthy food? And they all give me examples. And who eats junk food? And they all raise their hands and go, yeah, I eat, I eat. What do you eat? I eat this bad, this is bad, I eat this. And if you know it's bad, why do you eat?
Mhm.
And there, most of the time, most 99% of the time, the answer is, I don't go to the supermarket and buy it, Mr. Gracie. My parents buy it for me. And so I look at the parents are like,
Oh,
oops, sorry.
you're shaming the parents. You're telling, but you know what? There is something to that. There is something to that 100% because, when you make a conscious decision in your home to buy certain foods, and it's hard. Sometimes I take my kids to the grocery store with me. Forget it. These kids are all over me to get this, whatever it is, sweet cereals and all this stuff. And I try to tell them why we shouldn't have that, what that does to your body. And I try to teach them so that at least hopefully they understand why I'm not buying those things. But you're right. You have the ability not to bring it into your home. And if it's not in your home, kid's not going to eat it. So, but then I do find they go other places. They're stealing stuff out of people's cabinets. And I'm like, where'd you get that? Oh, it's so-and-so's house. Just to wrap up here today, and you've been so gracious with your time. Thank you so much. What advice would you give to beginners in martial arts, or maybe someone who's watching or listening to this, who's considering getting into martial arts themselves or putting their children in it potentially?
You have to practice. Um, you have to be persistent. You have to, again, it's not about being tough. It's not about being talent. You have, if you want to learn, you got to show up to whatever sport it is, and it's up to the instructor. If the instructor is good, the student should learn. There's no such a thing as a good student or bad student. There's good teachers and bad teachers. So if the student don't learn, it's the instructor's fault.
Mm,
So if you show up to my class, I guarantee you will learn.
okay.
So if they just have to show up and they have to be open to learn. And
Fair enough.
and it's not overnight. It's a practice, constantly practicing
Hmm.
over and over.
Absolutely. That's what they say does it. 10,000
I
hours to master something, they
I
say.
tell
So,
everybody, you have to know what you're doing. You have to have endurance, and then becomes power. And you have to be in that order. Knowledge first.
there you go. I love it. Where can people keep up with you, what you're doing, what's coming up for you?
Social media, Instagram, Royce Gracie Network Official. That's for the seminars, or the Real Royce Gracie, Real Royce, at Real Royce.
All
That's the
right.
Instagram. I post all my travels
Oh,
and
good.
all over the world.
Well, we'll keep up with everything you have going on. Thank you for what your family has contributed to this sport because, again, I think it's been very impactful. For my kids, I think it's been very impactful for a lot of kids. I wish more people did it, to be honest with you. I'm such a big proponent of it. And thanks for sharing a little bit about your life and all of your advice with us here today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. To everybody at home, as always, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and follow. We'll see you back here next time for more of The Right View. You were so great. Thank you so much. And
Awesome.
again, I'm so sorry for your. And I won't back down.